More of our interview. The parents of beheaded American journalist James Foley going on the record. Diane and John Foley describing the awful moments when they learned that ISIS had executed their son. How did you learn the bad news?
Well, not the greatest way, Greta. We learned by one journalist calling us and crying on the phone. Have you seen the news? And then that was followed up with my brother-in-law saying, oh, Diane, you've got to, you know, and then we turned on the news. It was the news, which, you know, yeah, that's how we found out, Greta.
Have you seen the video?
Not all of it. We don't want to see that. That's their propaganda. They want to frighten us, and that's their brutal propaganda. We don't need to see that. We want to remember how Jim lived, Greta. Jim was just a beautiful young man. He's the best of America. I mean, of course, I'm prejudiced as a mother, but anyone who met him really loved him. And it's because he was a man of compassion and courage and fun, and he had a joy.
Yeah, Nicole Tung, one of his colleagues, would say that in Aleppo, they would both go into a room. And
among Syrians,
among Syrians, a room full of Syrians, and Nicole would say, I'm not sure what to do. And Jimmy would pass out a few cigarettes and sit down with everybody else, and everybody would start to smile and tell him his story as if they were lifelong friends.
Jim had a beautiful way with people.
Yeah, he could light up a room. And
that's the way we want to remember Jim.
Yeah.
And that's the way we want the Legacy Foundation to also. So,
and that's the way we want to move forward with anybody who can help us. We want Jimmy to be a light, not a crime committed against us. I'm sorry, not a crime committed so that we're looking for answers in terms of, you know, placing blame. We want Jimmy's life and death to be a reason to move forward to improve the situation.
Right, we just don't want him to have died in vain, Greta. I mean, this horrific death. I mean, for such a good person, was like the antithesis of his life, the way he died. So we feel compelled as our family to go forward and to promote the compassion, to have the courage to try to help his spirit live on in the best way.
And we ask for help only.
Well, his death, without any doubt, has changed things. You know, the world is now focused on ISIS, and you know, all the people who he was over there reporting on are now, you know, there's a lot of attention on the world to try to do something about ISIS persecuting them.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
You know, I mean, without any doubt, you know, his life has certainly had an impact.
Yeah.
You know, that, you know, and I don't mean to spend a lot of time, but a lot of Americans have seen that video.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Right. But yes, I'm sure that's true. But I think it's important that Americans realize that, you know, we need to protect our citizens when we go abroad to do our jobs. You know, Jim was doing his job, just like a firefighter going into a fire. I mean, I've received some criticism. What was he doing there? Well, he was there because we comfortable Americans have no clue about what's going on in other parts of the world.
Well, there aren't going to be so many journalists there now anymore. You understand that?
That's absolutely true.
That's absolutely true.
You know, they're going to be fewer.
But see, that's part of the problem. And then when that happens, they win. You know, so we need courageous journalists. We need courageous humanitarian workers. We need to not be afraid. And yet, if you know, the world's becoming a dangerous place, Greta. And I hope that, you know, through our foundation that we can work on a dialogue with our government and internationally to increase protection from people who dare do these things in the world.
And we will bring you the rest of our interview with Diane and John Foley Monday night right here on The Record. The Foleys will talk about the chilling email they got from ISIS a week before their son's murder, plus their reaction to President Obama playing golf right after making a statement about their son's execution. So be sure to join us Monday night at 7 p.m. Eastern. And straight ahead,